Welcome to the Courageous Moms Podcast, a place where moms like you, facing the challenges of a child battling addiction, can find faith, hope, and connection. I'm Christie, a mom walking this road alongside you. Here, you'll be reminded that you are seen, you are loved, and most importantly, you are not alone. Together, we'll uncover the courage within us to face each day and embrace the grace that carries us through. Let's lean on faith, hold on to hope, and take this journey one step at a time together. Hey there, and welcome back to the Courageous Moms Podcast, where we speak hope, truth, and encouragement into the heart of moms walking the hard road of loving a child battling addiction. I'm your host, Christy, and I want to thank you for sharing your time with me. So grab your favorite beverage and your favorite blanket and get comfy while we have an honest and open conversation today. So it's officially spring, a season I'm sure we've all been waiting for, a time when things begin to bloom again. The sun starts to shine a little brighter and hope starts to feel possible. Today's episode is all about hope, especially in the moments when it's hardest to hold on to. This episode is a tender one I know many of us have faced or fear we'll face. Today we're talking about relapse. And I want to approach it with a heart full of grace, grounded in truth and wrapped in hope. Because the truth is, relapse happens. But relapse is not the end. It's not the end of your child's story, and it's certainly not the end of your faith. The reality of relapse. Let's get started by being real together. Relapse is something no one wants to talk about until it hits home. You've watched your child take steps forward. Maybe they've completed treatment, started counseling, reconnected with family, or joined a support group, and for the first time in a while, you exhale. Then the phone call, the withdrawal, the late night worry, the silence. Your heart sinks and that old familiar panic creeps in. You wonder, how did we get here again? Let me say this loud and clear. Relapse is not a reflection of your failure as a mom. Addiction is a chronic illness, and just like other chronic diseases, relapse can be a part of the recovery journey. In fact, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, relapse happens to 40 to 60% of those in recovery. I know statistics won't hold you when you're crying in your bathroom at 2 a.m., but they do remind us this isn't unusual, and you're not alone. Relapse is not a dead end. It's a detour, and with the right support, it can even become a redirection. And I want to be honest with you. I walked through this wilderness myself. When my son relapsed this last time, I was completely thrown off. I felt blindsided, broken, but it was in that wilderness where everything felt uncertain that I grew the most. And you know what? So did he. It was one of the worst weeks of my life and somehow one of the best, because in his relapse, I could see parts of him that had matured. I could see how he was trying, imperfectly but intentionally, to protect our family from the consequences of his choices. It broke me, but it also opened my eyes. That was when I truly realized he had to do things his own way. All I could do was love him, set the boundaries we needed for our family, and surrender the rest to God. And that was one of the best decisions I've made, not just for him, but for all of us. So we're in the season of Lent right now, and it's stirring something deep inside of me. Lent is a time of reflection and surrender, a time when we quiet the noise and draw closer to God, but it's also a time of wilderness. Jesus spent 40 days in the wilderness, fasting, praying, being tempted, and preparing for his calling. It was isolating, it was uncomfortable, but it wasn't wasted. You wonder if things will ever get better again. You feel powerless. But here's what I want you to remember. The wilderness isn't the end. It's the place where God refines us, grows us, and meets us. And if your child is in the wilderness too, just keep praying, keep showing up in love, and keep trusting in what you can't yet see. You know, something really powerful happened while my son was trying to figure out what kind of recovery path worked best for him. Because we all know every story and journey is different. He had an extra copy of the big book, which outlines the 12 steps from AA, and one day he encouraged me to start reading it. I've just started this book and can say that it is very different than I thought it would be. Over the years, he's been through several treatment programs, some that followed the 12 steps and others that didn't. For a long time, he pushed back against them. He didn't think they were for him. But during one of his relapses, something changed. He ended up in a recovery center that focused deeply on the 12 steps, and that's when it clicked. He realized it was exactly what he needed. He told me now he truly believes in the 12 steps, not just for people struggling with addiction, but for everyone. He said, "Mom, the steps are about life, and they apply to everyone's life and what they're going through." That moment really opened my eyes. It reminded me that even in the middle of the mess, even in relapse, clarity can come. Healing can begin. And sometimes it's in the wilderness where our kids discover what they needed all along, because Jesus didn't stay in the wilderness, and neither will you. Now, let's get practical, because when relapse happens, we want to do something. Our mama hearts go into overdrive. But here are 4 things I want you to hold on to. First thing is, don't panic. Take a deep breath. Step back. Pray. Your calm presence can anchor both you and your child in the chaos. Respond, but don't overreact. And remember, you don't have to fix everything today. The next thing is revisit your boundaries. This isn't about punishing your child. It's about protecting your heart and theirs. Boundaries gave our family space to breathe again, space to heal. If you've already set boundaries, go back and review them. And if they need adjusting, do it with wisdom and love. The next thing, stay connected to your support. You don't have to walk this alone. Whether it's your counselor, a support group, your church family, or just another mom who gets it, find your people. And if you're looking for a group, that's why I created the Courageous Mom Circle Support Group. I needed something like this when I was in the thick of it, and now it's here for you. I'm offering a $1 trial for 7 days so you can step inside and see what it's all about. Real moms, real support, and real hope. And when you join, you'll also get access to the Courageous Moms Toolkit, a growing library of faith-filled resources, checklists, devotionals, and guides that were born out of this 5-year journey I've been on. I would love for you to join my support group today. If you're interested in joining the support group, you can click on the link below in the show notes. Next, offer love with truth. You can be a safe place and stand firm. You can say, "I love you," and also say, "I won't support this behavior." Grace and truth are not opposites. They're companions. Now let's lighten it up for a second. I'll never forget one day after a relapse, I went full-blown supermom mode. I was Googling treatment centers again, planning next steps again, crying on and off, and for some reason, I had pajama pants on, my slippers I always wear, a messy bun, and looked like a hot mess. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and thought, this girl looks like she just survived a battle. I know I look like a hot mess, but God doesn't expect us to have it all together. He just asks us to trust Him. So if you're running on fumes today, Mama, carrying a weary heart and wondering if you're doing enough, please hear me. You are doing better than you think. Before we close today, I want to share a verse that has helped me and can hold you. Isaiah 43:2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. Sweet Mama, this may feel like deep waters, but you are not alone. God is still writing your child's story, and He's holding yours too. So take the next step. Lean into grace. Let spring awaken your hope again. And come find community with me inside the Courageous Mom Circle support group. Remember, you can try it for just $1 for your first week. I'll be here waiting with a warm welcome and a toolkit full of hope. If this episode encouraged you today, I would love for you to share it with another mom. someone who might be facing a similar storm and needs to know that they're not alone. And if you hadn't gotten a copy of my free ebook, A Mother's Love, Navigating the Journey Through Addiction with Hope and Strength, you can find it below in the show notes. It's filled with practical tips and encouragement to help you on this journey. Until next time, be kind to yourself, know that you are not alone, and stay courageous. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Courageous Moms Podcast. I hope you're walking away with a little more hope, a lot more strength, and the reminder that you're never alone on this journey. If today's episode resonated with you, don't forget to check out the Courageous Moms Toolkit. It's packed with resources to help you find peace, set boundaries, and navigate this challenging season with love and grace. You can grab it now using the link below. And if you're looking for a supportive community of moms who truly understand what you're going through, I'd love for you to join the Courageous Mom Circle Support Group. It's a place where you can connect, share, and find encouragement from moms walking the same path. Before you go, always remember that you are not alone and you are stronger than you think. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Courageous Moms Podcast. I'm Christie sending you love, hope, and strength. Together, we can find beauty through the struggle, and yes, sometimes through rose-colored glasses.